As you begin to listen now, there is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to achieve, and nowhere you need to go. Because healing does not begin with effort, it begins with safety. And right now, your only task is to allow yourself to be exactly as you are, noticing that simply by listening, your body is already responding, already adjusting, already orienting towards something calmer and more stable. Even if part of you is unsure, even if part of you is still alert, because safety does not require the absence of tension. It only requires permission for that tension to exist without threat. You may notice the rhythm of your breathing, not trying to change it, not forcing it to slow, just observing how it moves in and out on its own, reminding your nervous system that it already knows how to regulate when it does not feel pressure to do so. And as you listen, your body can begin to learn something new, something simple but profound, that in this moment, nothing is being demanded of it. There is no emergency to solve, no danger to outrun, no expectation to meet. And the body responds to this absence of demand by softening in small, subtle ways that do not need to be dramatic to be real. You might feel a slight settling in your shoulders, or a gentle heaviness in your limbs, or perhaps nothing obvious at all. And all of that is perfectly acceptable, because safety is not a sensation you must feel. It is a condition you are allowed to enter gradually, at your own pace. As you continue listening, imagine that your body is like a nervous animal that has learned through experience to stay alert, to brace, to prepare, not because it is broken, but because it has been trying to protect you. And today you are not asking it to stop protecting. You are simply letting it know that it can rest while still being valued, still being respected, still being heard. You may notice thoughts arising, memories, sensations, or emotional tones. And rather than analyzing them, you can gently remind yourself that awareness itself is not dangerous, that noticing is not the same as reliving, and that your body only releases what it feels safe holding. Right now, you are not asking anything to release. You are only establishing the ground where release could someday happen naturally, without force, without pressure, without re-traumatization. As your awareness settles more deeply into the body, you may begin to notice areas that feel neutral, or steady, or simply present. Perhaps the contact between your body and the surface beneath you, or the weight of your hands, or the way your jaw rests when you are not trying to hold yourself together. And these neutral sensations become anchors, reminders that even in a body that has known stress or overwhelm, there are places of stability, places that are not in danger, places that can be returned to whenever needed. Each time your attention rests there, even briefly, your nervous system receives a quiet message that says, "This moment is survivable. This experience is tolerable. This awareness is safe enough." You may notice that part of you is waiting for something to happen, waiting for a shift, waiting for relief. And you can gently reassure that part that healing is not a performance. It is a relationship, and relationships develop through consistency, not intensity. The body learns safety the same way it learned vigilance, through repeated experiences of non-threat. And right now, this this listening, this presence, this absence of demand is one of those experiences. You are teaching your system that it does not have to brace for impact, that it does not have to collapse, that it can exist somewhere in between, where sensation is allowed and nothing is forced. As the minutes pass, your body may begin to reorganize itself in ways that are not conscious, perhaps through a deeper breath that arrives on its own, or a small adjustment in posture, or a sigh that releases without intention. And these are signs not of letting go, but of trusting, because before the body can let go, it must trust that what remains will be safe enough to stay. You are not emptying yourself. You are building a container, one that is strong enough, kind enough, and patient enough to hold whatever arises without being overwhelmed by it. You may become aware of the rhythm of time slowing slightly, as if there is more space between thoughts, more room between sensations. And this space is not emptiness, it is regulation. It is the nervous system shifting from survival mode into something more balanced, more responsive, more present. If emotions arise, you do not need to label them. You do not need to understand them. You only need to notice that they are occurring within a body that is still here, still breathing, still supported. And that awareness itself becomes the signal of safety that allows those emotions to exist without escalating. As you listen, imagine that your body is learning a new baseline, one where safety is not something you earn through control, but something you allow through presence. You are not convincing yourself that everything is okay. You are letting your nervous system discover that in this moment, it is not under attack. And this discovery happens not through logic, but through experience, through tone, through packing, through the absence of urgency. The slower your system moves, the more it realizes that it is not being chased. And as it realizes this, it naturally begins to reorganize itself around stability rather than defense. You may notice a gentle warmth somewhere, or a subtle sense of grounding, or a feeling of being more inside your body rather than above it. And these sensations are signs of embodiment returning, of trust being rebuilt not through force, but through respect. Your body does not need to be fixed. It needs to be listened to. And right now, listening is happening simply by being here, simply by allowing this moment to unfold without judgment. As this experience continues, you can remind yourself that safety is not the absence of memory. It is the presence of capacity, the capacity to stay with yourself without abandoning, without numbing, without pushing away. Today, you are not revisiting the past. You are building the foundation that will allow the past to loosen its grip when the time is right. You are teaching your system that awareness does not equal danger, that sensation does not equal collapse, that presence does not equal overwhelm. And as you prepare to continue with your day or rest more deeply, know that the work of healing has already begun. Not because anything dramatic occurred, but because your body experienced something new, a moment where it was allowed to exist without pressure, without urgency, without self-attack. This is how healing starts, quietly, gently beneath the surface as safety becomes familiar and familiarity becomes trust, and trust becomes the ground from which everything else can eventually release naturally, safely.